David Steen. David Steen of Canada, 8,300 point man. Two fine Canadians here.
Hello.
Meanwhile, on the track, we've got the final of the men's 400 metres. There are 3 Australians, 3 Englishmen, 1 Canadian, and 1 Scot, Brian Whittle, who's drawn on the inside. Whittle in 1 for Scotland, Brown, England in 2, Akabusi, England in 3, Johnston, Australia in 4, Frayne, Australia in 5, Black, England in 6, Smith, Canada in 7, Clark, the favourite from Australia, with the awkward draw, although he's very experienced, in lane 8. On the inside, Brian Whittle of Scotland, SC of 4th AC, aggressive, confident, believes he can get a medal. In lane number 2, Phil Brown, so often the glory man on the anchor leg for England in the relay, drives his coach mad, though, into individual events when he rarely produces that sort of fall. Tony Hadley has tried and tried and tried, but Phil is a better runner with the bat in his hand so far, but don't discount him. 254 Akabusi of England, member of Southampton and Eastleigh, Army Sergeant, coached by Mike Smith, regular British international. Number 42, David Johnston, Australia, TV commercials producer, 3rd in the Australian Championship. Lane 5, Bruce Frayne, Australia, 5th in the Commonwealth Games, 200 metres 4 years ago. Won his semi-final yesterday. Lane number 6, also coached by Mike Smith at Southampton and Eastleigh, 20 years old, Roger Black, the reigning European junior champion. Very, very gifted athlete. Best time this season, 45.16. This is Andre Smith of Canada, born in Trinidad. Best time, 46.39 this season. On the outside, 20 years old, Darren Clark. Already 4 times the 3A's champion, an Australian champion this year, 4th in the Olympic Games. The 400 metres final. The crowd silent and expectant. The royal party absorbed in this. And the sun is shining quite strongly for the first time. But the wind still blowing strongly. The stadium absolutely packed. The 400 metres final. Whittle of Scotland on the inside, Brown of England in 2, Akabusi, England in 3, Johnston, Australia in 4, Frayne, Australia in 5, Black, England in 6, Smith of Canada in 7, Clark, Australia in lane 8. First time, Akabusi didn't get away too well. And Darren Clark on the outside going well. So too is Roger Black, and into the back straight. Black is closing down now on Andre Smith of Canada, and Clark beginning to steam down the back straight. But it's young Roger Black and Whittle on the inside for Scotland. The blue vest of Scotland flashing down lane 1. And he really has hammered the first 200 metres. And Roger Black has too. Roger Black goes past Clark, to Clark's astonishment, I would think, there. And the favourite's got a lot of work to do, but has Black gone too fast too soon? Whittle on the inside, and here comes Clark on the near side. It's Roger Black, 20 years old, from England, and he's away from the favourite and clear. And he's showing no signs of cracking yet, and he's going to take gold. Black wins the gold for England. Clark in 2nd place, Phil Brown 3rd, Akabusi 4th as Whittle faded. So, England 3 in the first 4, and Black astonished the favourite Darren Clark, who was in the awkward lane 8, the time 45.57, windy conditions, but a devastating piece of running. He attacked, he wasn't afraid to chase the Australian, and he really rattled the Australian on the top bend. When Clark, so much the favourite, must have thought, my word, what's happened here? He started 2 lanes behind me. And the question always is, when an athlete goes out like this, can they last down the finishing straight? But there was no sign of weakening at all. Roger Black, the reigning European junior champion, really took them on down the back straight. He gradually worked up on Andre Smith and closed on Darren Clark. Whittle of Scotland on the inside also ran dramatically fast over the first 200 to 300 metres, but I'm afraid then faded down the finishing straight. But his turn surely will come. He's a powerful athlete, and this has really been a remarkable season for him. And Roger Black, at this stage, has really upset Darren Clark. You can see him try to respond, but it's too late. And Clark wonders now, I think, whether Black will fade, but there's no sign of it happening at all. And in the end, Darren Clark has to give up and settle for second best. And he becomes, Roger Black, the first Englishman since 1938 and Bill Roberts to win. Darren Clark in second place, and Phil Brown, I think, got the better of the photograph from Akabusi for the bronze medal, with it looked like Brian Whittle in fifth place.
An impressive margin of victory there over one of the world's most talented 400-metre runners. Roger Black really came of age today. He took on the great Darren Clark, and by 300 metres the race was over. And really, when he got into the home straight, he saved so much that Darren Clark's resolve went, and he could do little to respond. A tremendous piece of running, and well done to Mike Smith, who's produced what a quartet of international 400-metre runners, and they've been honed to perfection, and he really has run the perfect race today.
Looking at Roger Black, one can't help feeling, actually, what an inspiration a number of athletes have been to British athletics over the past few years. People like Alan Wells, Daley Thompson, and Seb Coe, Steve Ovett, Steve Cram. Because behind those athletes, we've got a whole pack of youngsters now beginning to make a real impression.
Well, I think Roger Black has timed the season perfectly. He didn't get involved like Darren Clark did on the European circuit terribly much. I was very impressed with him in the heats. And since, you know, that Darren Clark was everybody's favourite, he just thought he had to come here and win the medal and collect the medal. And I think he judged the race badly. I think Roger Black judged the race perfectly well. And, you know, he wasn't being caught at the finish. And the Queen even enjoyed that one.
There's a marvellous atmosphere in the stadium. I do remember in 1970, actually, that we really thought athletics had taken off in Scotland, because every day the crowd was so appreciative. Yesterday was a very thin programme, thanks to the boycott, but there were about 15 or 16,000 here. They've turned up and filled the stadium today, and they really have not only appreciated what's happened, but understood it as well, because this is a very knowledgeable crowd.
Crowd that's remained absolutely absorbed in the heptathlon, which is reaching its final stages, the decathlon, which is in its fourth discipline, some marvellous track finals,